Hello everyone, can you hear me? So we can start the session. We're already 4:05 now, 5 minutes into the session. The sentence, you can just reply if you can hear me. Is there any problem? Yes. Hello everyone, can you hear me all? Yes, I can see hello from some of the centers, from some of the participants. Okay, fine. So mock overall, I can understand that paper 2 analysis yesterday has been over. Just a second, there is some error. I'll just start in 1 minute again. Yes, fine. So we can start the analysis of mock 3 paper 1. I hope you had seen the analysis of paper 2 yesterday. In all, as usual, we get a number of responses from the students, and an average of, I would repeat that point again, that an average of 50 to 60 marks in this paper I would consider as a sensible, approach and a good attempt. 50 to 60 marks, final marks in this paper at least. I've got some of the results from some of the centers now, but very soon it will be displayed to you on the web. So 50 to 60 marks at least. I would say 60 should be touched, because the questions are a bit factual. You will not get so many factual questions in the exam, but still I cannot give you more than a question of 10 marks in the paper. Now overall our aim of the session, so we'll see the session through these procedures. We'll analyze the question. I again say, pick the areas where you are comfortable. Help to customize your own way to approach the paper. Idea is pick the areas where you are comfortable, and in So understand areas where you are comfortable and then customize your paper. तो वो areas जो आप easily कर पा रहे हो, वो pick करो, as easily identify them, and then use the course, improve your performance in the areas where you haven't been comfortable. So you will, in all these mocks, help you in selecting those areas. Indian mocks will help you in selecting those areas. So by the end, or by the last 3-4 mocks and in the final paper, you must be ready with the areas where you haven't been comfortable. That is the main focus. That is the main focus. Static areas like geography, Indian national movement, or history part, or politics part, these areas should be consolidated. So customize your own paper means areas that you should consolidate first. Static areas should be completely consolidated. That is, I hope you are able to understand the static areas. That includes Indian national movement, then polity and geography. These 3 areas should be consolidated. In these areas, a total of 30 questions or around 6 questions are there, and you should be able to consolidate the areas by the end of the mocks. Then identify the areas which trouble you in the paper regularly. Most of the people say economics and science and tech are generally tough. So in those areas, keep on working. Check the questions which you can answer. If you can answer the fact-based question, do not forget to understand the concepts also. So economics involves some of the areas where you may be comfortable and some of the areas where you may not be comfortable. Overall, it's a big segment. It is from the dynamic area. It should be covered. कुछ एक आध कोई सब सेक्शन है जो नहीं हो रहा है वो एफर्ट कर सकते हो मिस करना, but overall economics cannot be left. It is an important area. My idea is static areas, these three should 100% be consolidated, and then from the rest of the area you can pick the areas where you need to work hard. From economics, from science and tech, from economics, from science and tech, then from environment. These are the areas where you have to work hard because these areas are very dynamic. It's very difficult to understand the area from where the questions are coming. In all, you should be having a sensible approach to consolidate this area. So economics, I would say 100% आप areas pick करो, कौन सा नहीं solve हो रहा उसमें मेहनत करो ज़्यादा. Economic survey कुछ हो जाएगा, but 11th class की macroeconomics head वाली book should be completely understood conceptually. If that is understood, newspaper reading will also increase. Science and tech, Thursday Hindu, pick Thursday Hindu, and then also pick the question from various entrance tests. Because science and tech, generally questions are asked from tech area and less science area. So tech area, you should be consolidating the tech area. Take the notes of many other institutes also that will get released by March. So that will help you consolidate the area that have happened in the last 12 months. So economics, tech, and then environment. These three areas are the one which you should be worrying about. These three areas, on the other hand, on your right side, Indian national movement, polity and geography. इसमें कोई ऑप्शन नहीं, आपको अच्छे से कंसोलिडेट करना है. इसमें एरियाज पिक और लेफ्ट साइड वाले पे एरियाज पिक करो और देखो कौन से एरिया में प्रॉब्लम हो रही है एंड हेल्प कस्टमाइज योर पेपर. So that is the main idea of these paper that you are learning. So we will be analyzing the questions. So, but these two areas should be separated. I again repeat, static area is around 30% of the paper. Indian national movement, polity and geography. These three together will give you a area of around 30% of the questions, and on the other hand, these three all in the circle of current affairs. In the purview of current affairs, this will give you around bulk of the paper. Today, environment has also been very actively, the questions from environment side has also been very actively included. So these three areas you will have to pick the patches where you are lagging behind. Next, so flow of the session. So as I said, the general approach to the paper. Static area, dynamic area, divide these areas and then approach accordingly. Divide these areas and approach accordingly. Static area, 100% consolidation is met. I would say a successful candidate must be able to do 60% of the questions from those static areas. And from their rest, I repeat many times and I say that from the paper two, in paper one is generally not, you cannot depend on it. Means on a bad day, it can ruin your exam. So paper one, in general, I would say किसी का सगा paper नहीं है. So paper one, you will have to concentrate hard in the areas where you can actually score. Idea is to score 80 marks in UPSC paper, and right now, as it is a big virtual, around 60 marks will be enough. Around 60 marks will be enough right now. That will show a good preparation, and along with the paper two, your overall score right now should be 160. I hope you have seen the paper yesterday. So around 150, 160 will be the cutoff in our mock papers, and it will go by around 15 to 20 marks up in the original UPSC paper. So in original UPSC paper, try for 80 plus 100 at least, and here you should try for 60 plus around 90, 95, so that rate around 150, 60 right now, and target should be 180 for the exam. 200 will always be safe. That is 80, 90 in paper 1 in the UPSC exam and 100, 110 in paper 2. So overall, in this paper, 80 to 90 should be your target in UPSC exam, and right now a target of around 60 marks will be sensible. Papers are a bit factual, which will of course increase by the time the paper ends. And in between, I'll give you the tips wherever necessary, wherever we think this should be remembered, wherever we think this should be this should be seen by the students, this should be remembered by the students. So we start with number 1. Consider the following statements in regard to caste system in during 18th century. Now, it's a factual question. I would categorize these questions as fact or conceptual paper. Now, this is a factual question. See, it's directly from the NCERT. You know it or you don't know it. But still, sometimes do not forget to read from the options also. Many times options give us the answer. So always use it, just don't leave. This is not like a single statement question that in which year this thing took place. 1933 is the answer, you know it or you don't. I think UPSC General Studies, overall fact is needed, but to an extent sense can be utilized. So you just do not have to read the question, and if you don't know, you just skip the question. I would say rather read the question and see the options also. There are many a times questions are solved eliminating the answers. So always try to remember that. Now from the given options we can get 2 is always included in all the 4 options. So of course 2 is always there. So for second question we don't need to see anything. Then again idea is 1 is also there 3 options, but that we have to 3, 1, 3 and 4. Overall these 3 have to be seen. Now, consider the following statements in regard to caste system in India during 18th century. There was a major divisive force and element of disintegration. We know to an extent we can logically justify this. Yes, in caste system India has remained divisive force since its inception. In the entire country, caste status has become completely stable. Is it correct? We'll have to think about it. Rather, it is not correct. In India, it has never been stable till this day. Rather, many of the even today, one of the best examples is the BSP Supremo in Uttar Pradesh. We know it has not been stable. There are many times from the people from the lower caste come from the economic areas or in the political areas. So in India it has never been stable. There have always been some of the low classes or castes that have always come forward, and many people from these castes have come forward and have tried to bring some of the reforms. Similarly, in the 18th century, some of the people from backward castes have also gained some of the status, and they always had a point to reform. So it never becomes stable. Sometimes the entire cost. Now we have 1 correct, 2 correct. So which can be the option? Certainly C. We have A, B and D. Of course 3 is incorrect. So 1 and D could be the option. We'll have to check option 4. Sometimes an entire caste would succeed in raising it in the caste hierarchy. Sometimes so of course if we see from the direct question, NCERT and Bipin Chandra things are given directly. So factual question, always factual questions are a bit tough. Okay, so in factual questions, first see the fact. If the fact is okay, you are okay with the fact, go ahead. Then see the options. Options में देखो फिर. अगर options से भी sort out नहीं होता है, then skip the question. Then you can skip the question. So my idea is, in factual questions, try to read the fact first, and if facts don't work, go to the option. Sometimes from the option you can get some of the value, some of the idea, some of the concept. If that is okay, you can get the answer, you can mark the answer, or else skip the question. I hope my idea is clear. So in most of the factual questions, use this strategy. Read the question. If fact, you know the fact, of course, mark the answer. If you don't know the fact, go to the options. Take your options, move ahead. Consider the following statements regarding preamble of the Constitution of India. Now, it's a conceptual question. You must know a fact aided by concept. So facts are needed, certainly in all the GS questions facts are needed, but here some of the concept can also be used. Now, consider regarding Constitution of India, it can be amended by Parliament to any extent barring the basic features. Correct. We know the Keshav-Nandan Bharti case, 1873, 24th April, the basic feature concept. Then it can be amended by special majority and ratification by legislature of half the states. Is it correct? Yes, further it is correct. It has no role to play in the interpretation of the Constitution. Check this Keshav-Nandan Bharti case. Check Keshav-Nandan Bharti case, you will get the answer. According to the Keshav-Nandan Bharti case, it recognizes that the preamble may be used to interpret ambiguity of the Constitution where differing interpretations present themselves. And fourth, it is non-justiciable. Well, it is of course correct. So correct answer is option 2, option C, question option C. Now, from the statement would sometimes an entire caste would succeed in raising itself in the caste hierarchy. There have been some instances in 18th century in which there have been some castes who have been successful in falling ahead of their causes. To substantiate these with examples, I'll send you, of course, at the end of the session, I'll give you the mail. You can just send the question to the mail, and I will give you the number of which have actually done that. There are 3 castes which have actually been involved in this, so that will be good for you for reading as an example. So, of course, Vivek, do send it. You will get the details on the mail. Ratifications by state. Yes, Bharat. Yes, it requires ratification by legislature of half the states. Question number 3. Which of the statements? Now, question number 2. Once again, I would say here again, a fact. You should be ready with the fact. If fact is okay, then of course the answer is there. Rather, it will be not a very difficult question, medium level question. And if fact is not there, you can go to skip to the options. First one and fourth one is directly there. So if first one and fourth one is there, C, D, and is always there. Okay. So in that case, you can of course avoid option A. Then it has no role to play in the interpretation of Constitution. Rather, if it is an option which can be neglected, and if you can neglect this, then automatically A, B, and D can be neglected. So sometimes you can see from the options that अगर हमको option 3 के बारे में पता चल जाए कि अगर वो गलत है, तो of course A, B, and D can be neglected, can be avoided. So only C left in that case. So sometimes try to do these questions by choosing the options also. You may not be knowing all the 4 options, but option C can help you. Statement 3 can help you in getting the answer to an extent. So I hope you are getting my point. Check fact देखा, उसके बाद सीधे अगर नहीं समझ में आ रहा, अगर आपको क्लियर आता है क्वेश्चन, सीधे मार्क करो. नहीं आता है, move on to the next level. Move to the options, check the questions. If the options, you are able to sort out the options, avoid the options, certainly very well, or else you can move ahead. Yes, question number 3. Which of the following statement is or are correct about regarding the deserts? Most of the major deserts in the world lie in areas crossed by the trade winds. I hope we are very well aware of this. Geography, we know in the areas where where air is sinking or the air is subsiding, there the deserts are there. So if we see the whole world map, in Africa also, in the trade wind zone, the air is subsiding in the western of the areas. So a whole Sahara desert. Then in Asia, again western part where Saudi Arabia is there. So this area would be in Asia. If we complete a map, then certainly I hope you are able to see some of the areas in the world map, which is like world map hota hai. So in the areas, I would show another color. So This is the area, and this is the area west of the desert, west of the area, and in the trade wind belt, and in the trade wind. So this is the equator, I would say, and here this would be the Tropic of Cancer, and in the trade wind belt these areas are really there, and trade winds, these winds subside in the western part of the continent, and there only you find the deserts. So most of the major deserts lie in the areas crossed by trade winds. Most of the deserts are confined within the 30° north and 30° south. Certainly it is between this. In Australia we can find the Western Australia desert. Then in South America and in North America, the Atacama Desert. If we see South America, we see in this area, in the South area, South America, in this area we find the desert which is commonly called Atacama Desert. And then in the North America, which is certainly very difficult to be drawn here, North America is always so in North America again, this is the area where we find the Californian desert. So this is again in the west, this is in the west, this is in the west, and in the Australia also it is in the west. So more major areas in India we find in the west. So in the tropical areas mostly, and in the western part of the continents. So why is it? It is because of the reason that trade winds which are see the direction of the trade winds, they come from the northeastern area to the southwestern area, and then they subside in these areas. If we see the Hadley cell in the world, these rise of the air from the equatorial area and then get subsided near the tropical areas. Near the tropical areas, due to help of Coriolis force and the motion of the earth, rotation of the earth, it subsides near the subtropical high pressure areas. These are the subtropical high pressure areas, and they generally subside in the western part of the continent, where the air subsidence is there. Air subsidence causes desiccation effect. The air subsidence, wherever air will subside, there will be less rainfall. Remember that. Stable air causes rainfall. You need rainfall. If there is an unstable air, then only the rainfall can occur. Rainfall will not occur in the areas where stable air is there. So in these areas, stable air is there. Stability means air doesn't have much movement vertically or vertical movement. Means the heavy air is down and lighter air is, so it is a stable air. उल्टा हो जाएगा, अगर lighter air को नीचे रख दो और heavy air को ऊपर रख दो, तो lighter air escape करने के लिए ऊपर जाएगी और heavy air sink करने के लिए नीचे आएगी. तो होगा क्या? Unstable हो जाएगा, हमेशा नीचे होता रहेगा. Rather stable air रहेगा तो ऊपर नीचे नहीं होगा, जिससे बारिश नहीं होगी, ना clouds बनेंगे, and this will even result in desertification of the areas. Now, Atul, what is trade winds? I think you must read the areas. You must be aware of this. It's not a question to be discussed right now, I guess. Trade winds, one of the planetary winds. You must be trade winds, westerlies and polar easterlies. All these they are planetary winds. You must be aware of this. Basic geography. Question number 4. Now, question number 3, I would say conceptual part is required, not just concept. Not just fact, concept is also required. So in these questions, until unless you are very sure, do not mark the answers. Among other things, which of the following was purpose for which the Deepak Parekh committee was constituted? Deepak Parekh, who is Deepak Parekh? Some of you who are attending us right now can write it in the chat box. Who is Deepak Parekh? Take 20 seconds to answer. Yes, good. Some of the answers are coming. Yes, Bharat, very good. SDFC chairman. So, Deepak Parekh is the chairman of SDFC, and he was given authority, he had founded a committee. What was the idea? His idea was to attract investment in infrastructure. So, means overall to improve India, to invite more FDIs, invite more investment. How much what India should do and what should be done to attract more investment in infrastructure sector. So what he suggested finally, well, of course, here a factual question. He suggested measures for financing the development of infrastructure. You know, he suggested the increment of fares in the rail fares, then electricity. He wanted such many sectors across India, and he has, in the end, idea is कि जितना अच्छा हो अगर हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में डेवलपमेंट में पैसे हमको जितना ज्यादा मिलेंगे, that will be good for the economy. So overall, he has suggested 100% in telecom sector, 100% FDI. Then he had overall said to increase the private participation in the infrastructure sector. In the last 5-year plan, private participation was around 37% in the infrastructure. This time they want to increase it to 48% around. So that is a good target, and if that is achieved, that is what target is to be achieved. 48, I guess 8 थोड़ा सा सो गया था, 48%. Okay. So that is the target, 100% FDI in telecom, then increase in the rail fare, then in the electricity tariff. So overall idea is to finance the development of infrastructure. To get FDI, so Deepak Parekh, committee head chairman of HDFC Bank. The National Tiger Conservation Authority will soon create a national database for tigers. Which of the following are correct regarding the national database for tigers? Now, factual question, you must be aware of this, but still sometimes, as I have said, read the question, check the answers also, check the options also. Sometimes you can get hit by the reading the options. So well, here it is not, of course, not, you cannot get the options. By fact, all the 3 are correct directly. Okay, so the correct answer is option D, pure factual question. You know it, and in these questions, you know it or don't know it, and just move on to the correct code. If you cannot sort out, leave the question. Consider the following statements about Man Booker Prize. So it's a fact about Man Booker Prize. Check knowledge in recent times. Hilary Mantel won the Man Booker Prize in 2012 for the novel Bring Up the Bodies. Is it true? Yes, correct. Hilary Mantel is the first woman and the first British writer to receive the award twice. Yes, she is the first one to receive the award twice. But when did she receive other time? For which book? For which book did she receive for the other? I give you 20 seconds to answer. She is a British citizen. Wolf House, Wolf Hill. Many answers are coming. Yes, I would like to invite more answers. Very good. Very good participating. Yes, Wolf Hall, Wolf Hill, Wolf House. Many answers are coming. Very good. कुछ लोगों ने अब तक गूगल करके आंसर निकाल लिया होगा वैसे. Yes. Well, it's correct, of course. Wolf Hall is the name. If you want, I can write the name. The name is Wolf Hall. Wolf Hall. The other book in 2009, she had got the Booker Prize, and this is given every year. The Booker Prize is given every year. So that is why third option is wrong, because it is in every 2 years. And can you name the book which has been given the Booker of the Booker? The book which has been given the Bookers of the Booker? Yes, of course. Some of you are giving right the answer. Yes, Midnight Children. Midnight Children, you know, it's there is also going to be a film made on it, The Midnight Children by Deepa very soon. The Midnight Children, written by Salman Rushdie. Midnight चिल्ड्रन, हाँ कुछ लोग देखो पिक्चर बहुत देखते हैं, कह रहे हैं कि रिलीज हो चुकी है सर। आई नो रशदी वांट टू कम टू इंडिया, बट ममता बनर्जी बवाल कर दिया है। पढ़ते रहो इस बारे में। Salman Rushdie and the freedom of art and culture in India has always become a point. We know the case of Vishwam, we know the case of Ahmed Hussain, we know the case of Mr. Salman Rushdie. Okay, कल को आप भी कोई बहुत अच्छी बुक लिखें और उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम हो जाए तो you may also face an ISIS के, इसलिए ISIS के इतने चक्कर में नहीं होना चाहिए। एक अच्छी सी किताब लिखो, एमएफ हुसैन की तरह पेंटिंग करो। ओके, सो गोइंग फर्दर, क्वेश्चन नंबर 6, a pure fact, FOIA fact, and then the options can be checked. Now, question number 7, something from environmental area, micro hydro. What is micro hydropower? The micro hydropower, if we read the options, the third option we can see is sincerely in one aspect. Micro hydro is considered as a non-sustainable system because water used in this system is completely wasted and cannot be used to reduce the natural flow of the steam. Now, to sort this, actually this is the one which is the statement is wrong. Means 1 to 4 all are correct. But to know this, to know third question, you must be in the fact. You cannot directly know. You cannot just conclude from sense that it is a non-sustainable system. If it is correct, if this point is correct, then of course it is a non-sustainable system, but actually this point is not correct. The water is not wasted. So if you can make a logic from one statement 2, then of course third can be used. Else it is a factual question. Do not try to put your head in every question. You just don't have any idea about the question. So 1 to 4 is the correct answer actually. Question number 7, the correct answer is A option. So a factual question, and then you know or you don't know. If you don't know, move to the options. If you can eliminate the options, which certainly is option 3 is the crucial because you can find it in the 3 options. Then option 4 is already given in all the 4. So 4 is certainly correct. There is a problem between 1, 2 and 3. If 3 is eliminated, you can certainly eliminate C, B and D and only A remains. So options ko leke bhi, it could have harmful effects on fauna and flora, not very well justified. It is now if you read question number 4, statement number 4, microsystems are limited in use because the direct limitation to it comes from water source at different sites, which are small with minuscule flow. Rather, there hasn't been any environmental effect hazard on flora and fauna. It's just the moving water at a considerable rate that is being harnessed to generate power. So this thoda sa there are little to no harmful effects because of course some of the energy is being converted. Rather, there hasn't any significant harmful effects. The harmful effects have not been tabulated as of now. So that is what the point is. It is a very, this little to no point means there have been some questions raised by some of the conservationists. So, when it comes to renewable form, it is 100% renewable. Then its hazard is very low. There is no side effect. There is no side products that are getting released. So that is the idea. So a little effect in a sense that some of the power, some of the areas have thought of some problem which still not been out in the picture. So that is an idea behind that. Rest micro hydropower has certainly, it is like a very small dams. Some small dams are put on the river at various places and then the power is harnessed from that. That is the idea. What was the root cause of the religious movements in India during 6th century BC? Now, from the culture and art, no, I would not say that it is directly from an ancient history. Rather, it can be termed from the culture and art. Now, real cause, new agricultural economy in Eastern India. The correct answer for option A is any source to be aware of facts with respect to the environment. Yes, Vivek, that is a good question. I would say, if you want to be aware of the facts with respect to environment, follow technology area. Technology area will certainly give you, today most of the technology has been focused on ecology, and technology in that, whatever has been sorted out, that you can use to sort out the areas from the environmental area. So my idea is focus, there should be a sensible focus on technology, and then that can be linked to the environment. Further, one more source that you can look for is, certainly, you can purchase a book. I have seen a reverse reading that you go for a questionnaire booklet from the market, MCQs maybe. So MCQs will, in the market there are many MCQs available which are focusing on most of the areas that environment has been covering. So in that you have 500, 600 questions, you can get a reading from that, and from that if you are not able to understand some, you can refer it on the web. So in that I have seen many students have the book. There are many facts, new facts that are being questioned of the questions which are made of. So un questions ko basically reverse learning ho gayi. Go for that questions. If that questions, read it, try to solve it. If you are not able to solve, you take the statement and of course refer on the web. I would say take use of web, very important in that. उसमें कोई environmental program या environmental hazard या फिर कोई environmental relation दिया हुआ है, सीधे web से refer करो, you will get more links to forward, read it. Means overall, spend not more than 2 to 4 minutes on any question. It is अगले 3 महीने में, if you are sensibly doing, give 1 week to the environment, 3-4 hours each day. Overall 20 hours is enough. 20-25 hours is enough. Yes, MCQ environment, there have been, I think, recently the company that you are asking, Vivek, do send me a mail after the also. I'll give you the mail ID also. I'll just mail you some of the links and I'll mail all you are requesting. I'll give you the names also of the MCQs that we have ready. Okay? So, we move on to question number 2. What is the correct chronological order of the following provisions were incorporated in the Constitution of India? Now, for a UPSC preparation student, I would say this is an easy question. Not very difficult. I hope you know the answer. You have been given in the explanation sheet. Of course, correct answer is certainly A, and the sources have also been given in there, that in which amendment act had these been taken. I would skip this question. Pure factual question and easy question. Being a UPSC student must be aware of these facts. Now, which of the following statements is our basic cause of monsoon climate? Now, something concept. Which of the following the basic cause of monsoon climate? Then, difference in the rate of heating and cooling of land and sea. Is it the cause? Certainly, this is how are the winds moving. The heating and cooling of the land, and there is a low pressure built on Indian, because of the intense heating of the land, there is a low pressure built on the Indian subcontinent land, and from the high pressure of the seas, the wind starts moving towards the land, and that is what one of the movement of the monsoon winds rather. So, prevailing winds of the region are the trade winds which bring rain to the coastal region. Certainly not. Prevailing winds bring. If prevailing winds had to bring, साल भर बारिश होती, because prevailing winds stay for almost a year. Throughout the year they are here. So if had trade winds been the cause, it would have been throughout the year. Rather, it is not the cause. This one is correct and second is incorrect. So geography area. Yes, it's true for any wind. It's not specific to monsoon. How is it? Yes, Vivek, it can be said a generic, but when it is, see the question. The question is our basic cause of monsoon climate. Now there are many climates. Suppose that is in the interior of the area. I take an example of Siberia. Siberia has very cold. It's a very cold area. So their climate is not defined by the rate of heat and cooling of the land only. Land and sea. It's only because of the heating and cooling of the land. The temperature increases very fast and decreases very fast. The same is the desert. All the desert area, interior areas are because only heating and cooling of the land. Sea is not the effect. So it can be a bit generic for some of the areas, but as it is being asked for monsoon, I would say, it can be justified to a point. So, point is, first one only is correct, the second one is wrong. So, concept question, I would say this is a concept question. Sense thoda lagana padega. Just do not jump into it. And out of 10 questions till now, I would say 3 to 4 would have been answered. हर क्वेश्चन में ये मत सोचना कि हर क्वेश्चन आपको नहीं आता है कि हाँ ठीक है ये तो फैक्ट क्वेश्चन है, ये नहीं आता, ये भी नहीं आता, ये भी नहीं आता. When the question is fact, it means that some of the facts may be missed, not every fact is missed. So you should be able to answer 3 to 4 up to now. Which of the following is true about India's e-governance initiatives? Recently, which of the following has been true? There were no trade winds, not necessarily the rain in India. It's mainly the monsoon. It's the western depression that causes rain in February in around northern area, and then it's mainly the monsoon area, the summer monsoon, and then the retreating monsoon. So just do not get confused. It's not the trade winds. Trade winds hote to alag direction se. Question number 11. Now it's a fact area. Each of all. I think you must have been in the answer sheet. It's written. It's based on it has been started ITC to connect the Indian agricultural area to the main market, so that they are so that the point is बीच में जो middlemen होते हैं और बीच में कई सारे market real time updates होते हैं, they are able to get that. So to get those corrections, each of all has been started by ITC, and then second is certainly correct. So second is correct and one is wrong. Correct answer is B. Another factual question. Which of the following statements is or are not correct? Yes. Which state has stopped? The correct answer for this is Uttarakhand. Rest are correct. One thing I would say that in most of these questions you will find most are correct. Here 1 is wrong, 2 are correct. So for these 2 options, you just remember the options at least. एक बार इनको revise कर लो, एक बार पढ़ लो, एक बार थोड़ा by heart से एक बार अच्छे से लो. Point is, you must be reading about the many of the books here and there, and many of the current affairs book, many of the articles for these EPI, ESI, इन सब चीजों के लिए पढ़ते होंगे. Point is, some of the statements are directly given in the paper, given to you. ये statements जो आपके सामने हैं, कहीं से ढूंढ के अच्छी तरह से निकाले गए. So point is, these are already good. I would say such questions, there are at least 40-50 questions in this, where statements are there and a lot of those statements are correct. तो उन सही statements तो सीधे ही पढ़ लो कि हाँ ये चीज हुआ था. So that try to make some notes out of these papers also. इससे क्या होगा कि आपको बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत नहीं पड़ेगी इधर उधर स्टेटमेंट्स ढूंढने के लिए. सपोज कोई स्कीम है, जैसे कोई सपोज इंडियन गवर्नमेंट की, जैसे आगे स्त्री शक्ति. So in that, why to read about many things from here and there? Just take those 3-4 statements. वो 3-4 statements की help कर देंगे. So that is being the idea behind this. Try to use it directly too. Then according to plan information performance index, I would say I give you a homework. EPI है. What is ESI? What is ESI? Just try to read one statement from, try to calculate one of the data, and what is EVI? Environmental Sustainability Index, Environmental Vulnerability Index. So this is like a homework to you. I'm just giving a clue. If you have a problem, do with me. I will explain the details. But just a homework to you, get the point, what is ESI and what is EBI. Question number 30. Consider the following statements about Bharat Nirman. Consider the following statements on, now Bharat Nirman has no point on environmental protection and sustainable development. First and 3 are correct. First and 3 are correct. First three are 1 and 3 are correct. Yes, Vivek, just check it. It's about the 2 decade. In 2 decade, it has drastically decreased, not just 1 year. Vivek, what you're reading is what you are reading from that is for the recent. I hope your point is clear, Vivek. Okay, I'll read for you question number 12 again. Option 2, classified as critically endangered by IUCN, the population of vultures has an alarming rate over 99% during the last 2 decades. I hope it's given for the last 2 decades, not just this one. Okay. Yes. Yes. So overall 99% it has decreased. That is the point. In the last year it has just increased. That is the point you are mentioning about. Yes, that is not the point. In last 2 decades it has increased over 99%. That is correct still. Question number 40. Greenware, it has been a computer brought by Wipro Technology. It has been launched by Wipro Technologies, and I tell you, do not get confused with one more. That is, Greenware is also a software that is being distributed on internet if you work in favor of environment at any point. So means जैसे आपको क्या होगा, suppose आपको एक particular एक software की जरूरत है, so you can take this Greenware. These greenwares say about they will ask you to do something favorable to the environment. So point is, इनके बदले में आप कुछ environment के लिए favorable करोगे. तो होगा क्या कि in a way you will acquire a thing, and that in return you will do something favorable to the environment, and that will eventually add to the health of the environment. So that is being Greenware. Then Greenware is also the name of a computer that has been launched by Wipro. Both the options are correct. It is completely free of both hazardous PVC and brominated flame retardants. The manufacturing of Greenware can be a special action like replacing all standard light bulbs with CFLs or more general application more ecologically. So it has been mixed both. It's a computer, and it is also a software where you can go for a positive work rather than a negative work. Question number 15. Consider the following statements regarding the administrative policies of East India Company in India during, say, 1750 to 1857. The administrative policies remain same without any major change during this period. It remains same. So it is, they have asked which of these are not incorrect, means which are correct. 2 and 3 are correct in it. The administrative policies actually changed considerably in this period from 1757 to 1857. Not a difficult question, easy to be picked out. So if one is wrong, certainly A and C are corrected, only B and D are left to be chosen. Which of the following bills require prior assent from the President before presenting to the Parliament? It's a difficult question, I leave it to you. Generally not a very difficult question for a UPSC exam preparation. Not very difficult one. B option is the correct. Yes, Vivek, what is the rationale behind formatting questions like not incorrect? The idea is to make you aware. A lot of students actually know the answer, still they do it incorrect. Point is just to make you aware. A lot of students many times do this kind of mistakes. So point is just be aware in the questions. 1 or 2 questions here incorrect will not of course promote any point, but that will make you more aware. If you 2 बार आप गलत करोगे तो अगली बार आपको लगेगा कि हाँ इसे सही करना चाहिए, पिछली बार मैंने इस तरह से गलत किया था. तो idea is you will read question more clearly. In exam incorrect or not correct or को लेके कई questions आते हैं. The point is you will get a habit of reading questions. Question number 17. Stratus, a geography fact. These clouds are found between the areas of 6,500 to 7,000 meters. Correct? Incorrect? It is around 2,500 meters. इस height पे generally cumulus मिलते हैं. To 6 kilometer to 7 kilometer around cumulus मिलते हैं, and stratus is generally 2,500. So 1 and 3 correct. Geography fact. Question number 18. Consider the following statements regarding CSIR. CSIR. It is a statutory body registered under the Registration of Society Act 1860, constituted in 1942 by the resolution of the Legislative Assembly. Well, it's directly correct. Second is wrong. Fact again. Read the options. If you know it, skip to the option. Skip to the options. Sense it. कहीं से कोई मिल सकता है आंसर, नहीं मिलता है, leave it. Here the point is option B. 2 only. आता है सीधे से मार्क करो, नहीं आता है move on to the next question. Then question number 19. The shifting of river mouth and erosion have changed the terrain of the nesting beach of Oliver Ridley turtles near the Rusiculia tree in Ganjam district of Odisha. What are the reasons associated with it? We know Oliver Ridley has been in the news. It's a rare species and vulnerable species also. It has attracted many points. It has attracted many eyes by the environmentalists. The shifting of the river mouth has also led to the formation of a 500-meter long sand of more than 200 meters inside the sea. Now, a current affair, अगर आप newspaper अच्छे से पढ़ लो, you must be aware of this. Then Oliver Ridley is not going to nest on sand patches that are connected to the mainland. So, well, of course, correct. Be aware of the current affairs. This तरह के environmental related current affairs problems will always be. Consider the following statements regarding the Indian folk dance. For the culture and art, if you use SIS login, it has in your SIS it been given some of the links that you can study for the cultural areas. Do check that. In your SIS, it has already been given. Many of the students that ask for the areas, कि कहाँ से पढ़ें, which area to be studied, which site to be referred, which book to be studied, it is already given on the web. Please do check. Question number 20. All the 3 are correct. You can just remember these. In such questions, all the 3 generally आपके लिए, we cook some certain statements and for you, just have an idea after reading this. Dandiya was really performed only by men. Dandiya with the fast movements was a dance of martial arts. Public performance of Dandiya responds to the agricultural cycle of the region. Question number 21. Something from the Indian national history. The Constitution School in Britain during 19th century maintained that Indian civilization was different from European civilization, but was not necessarily inferior to it. The conservatives of Britain favored the social stability the most and opposed any rapid change in Indian society introduced by the British government. Certainly they were. The nature of British rule in India was progressive, though the majority of its officials were conservative. It was never progressive, rather conservative, and they had one eye upon the economic sources from India. Yes, Vivek, it may not only be from the Wikipedia, there are many other resources also. Just do not worry about the validity. If you have any other point that it's not correct, you can certainly mail us. And if, just do not check about if it is not mentioned. It's not mentioned doesn't mean that it is not there. So question number 22. Consider the following statements. There is no place in the Constitution of India for an impeachment of a judge of a High Court or Supreme Court. Now I think, very well you know that. Is it there or not there? The Parliament is not empowered to discuss the conduct of any judge or a High Court or Supreme Court, and the protection in this regard is applied to its judicial duties as well as private conduct. So not a very difficult question. You can of course refer your answer sheet. Parliament is empowered to discuss the conduct of any judge of the Supreme Court, High Court, but the protection of judge in this regard is restricted to his official duties and does not apply to his private conduct. Which of the following characteristics is not a feature of the Arctic or polar climate? Now read it very slowly. Polar climate is characterized by a low mean annual temperature in its warmest month in June season, in which temperature rises more than 50 degrees. Now I say it may be correct or may not be correct. Let us put a question mark here. Winters are long and very severe, summers are cool and brief. Certainly it's correct. In polar areas we have long winters. Precipitation is mainly in the form of snow. In most of the areas it is in the form of snow. To an extent it can be verified. Polar climate includes the parts of the world where cold conditions exist due to the high elevation of particular mountain range. Is Himalaya a polar region? Is Himalaya mainly a polar region? We know it's not. So, we cannot directly say the high elevation of a particular mountain range may define it as a reason of the polar climate. So, this can certainly be neglected. Now, if this is neglected, that is the answer. So, answer D is correct. In such questions, you may not be knowing one or two options. But if you know one option perfectly, that generally corresponds to the answer to many a times. तो अगर आप चारों ऑप्शन पढ़ो तो ऑप्शन एक सेंसिबली उसको पिक किया जा सकता है जो कि सही आंसर होगा. Which of the following statement is an appropriate description of deflation? Now it is a sudden fall in the value of currency against other currencies. It is a persistent recession in both financial and reality sectors. It is a persistent fall in the general price level of goods and services. Simple question. C option is correct. Most of you must have answered it as correct. It is the fall in the rate of inflation over a period of time. No, certainly not. It is disinflation. The D option is disinflation. Consider the following statements regarding an ecological pyramid. The number of species tend to increase successively from the lower trophic level to a higher trophic level. This is the trophic level. जितना नीचे हो उतना ज़्यादा होता है. So as we go, the number goes on decreasing. So what happens? Number of species tend to increase successively from the lower trophic level to higher trophic level of the pyramid. The total biomass tends to increase progressively from the base. Now again, second is certainly correct. No, Article 124 mentioned procedure. No, it's not necessarily to impeach High Court, Supreme Court. You can read it again. It cannot be directly defined. It's rather the only Supreme Court, High Court judge, they don't have any impeachment point. You can certainly rectify it. And I'll mail you the details about that also. In case if you know it. Then question number 26. Now, consider the following statements about child mortality. Now again from the current affairs. Yes, from question number 25, both decreases. Yes, is there any doubt? As go up, it decreases. We can see the trophic level increases. It goes on decreasing. Yes, Jyoti, you are absolutely correct. Oh, I may have missed the point by speaking rather. Thank you for correction, Jyoti. It is rather decreasing. मैं जल्दी में शायद increase बोल दिया हूँ. It is rather decreasing. Yes. So the decreases with the progression of trophic level in the pyramids. Now it's very clearly at the base you can see most of them, and then it goes on decreasing from primary producers. It goes on decreasing, and the number of species decreases. Then biomass is totally very much, and it decreases as we go further. Carnivores are less than the herbivores, they are less than the primary producers. So it's not very difficult. I'm sorry if I told increase. Now current affairs, if you read directly, very important. I would say child mortality estimates report 2012 released by the United Nations Children Fund. Now, main cause has been pneumonia. Major cause has been recognized as pneumonia, and pre-birth complications as the second. Pre-birth complications as the second most important. Now, yes, Vivek, your question is what sources to refer for various reports. Remember, some of the students, most of the students only take economics away. Most of the students only take economics away. I would go for 3 more economic surveys that I say. Environmental survey revealed by the government of India. It will be revealed next month. So environmental survey this year can be taken. Then women and child development survey. This will include all the reports and initiatives taken by the government. And then there is an agricultural survey also. Thank you, Vivek, for reminding that. In classes we have already discussed with students regarding this and its effectiveness. I tell you, it's the primary resource. इनकी concise version market में मिल जाती है. Environmental survey, women and child development survey, 1, 2 and agricultural survey. Of course, economic survey तो आपको पढ़नी है. इन तीनों का भी concise part ले लीजिए. All these are considerably available. They give a good detail about the government initiatives. And I tell you, these are the prime resource. This is the prime resource, so always very, very helpful. Okay. So environmental survey, women and child development and agricultural survey. पिछले साल की तो available है, already web पे भी available है, market में भी हो, but इस साल नई वाली अभी तक आई नहीं होगी. Probably आने वाली होगी अगले कुछ दिनों में. You can take that and can read from there. So the world's lowest under 5 mortality rates were in Singapore, correct? India tops the chart of the countries with greater number of under 5 deaths. Yes. In percentage wise, there are many sub-Sahara countries, but in the number, India tops the chart. So option D is correct. Storing water in colored bottles and in the mineral water bottles for a long period can be harmful for health. Now, we know it's harmful for health. Why? It is because minerals present in water react with water bottles, produce sodium benzoate and thiopental. Is it? Chemicals present in polyethylene terephthalate bottles migrate in drinking water stored in PET bottles. Now, with the first option, the point is they don't react, rather they get dissolved. So there is a big difference. They don't react and form another compound. They just move into and get dissolved. So they are present like a suspension in it. So 2 and 3 is correct, and third is marginally wrong because of the point that they don't react, rather they just dissolve in it. Okay, consider the following statements in regard to the principality states in India during the British rule. Now another factual from NCERT. If you can read, you can still solve it. The 2/5 of the Indian subcontinent were being ruled by princes. Absolutely correct. Most of the states were basically responsible. It cannot be referred as a react because it has been specifically mentioned that though it don't react chemically and they don't form another product. So that is why. Just all that is, it forms a it gets occupied like a suspension, and rather they don't react and form another compound. So question number 28 back again. Most of the states were basically responsible themselves for the poverty and backwardness of the people. We know they were not themselves, they were only partially responsible. There are a lot of the policies by British had made many of the states impoverished. So second option is certainly wrong. A few states introduced political reforms and promoted industry. Certainly they did, many of them. So 1 and 3 are correct, and 2 is incorrect. Which of the following statement regarding meeting of the Indian cabinet government is or are correct? We know cabinet has priority to, they have a right to attend the cabinet meet. Minister of State can attend only if invited to attend any particular meeting. So must be aware of this point. Second is wrong. Yes, because not state themselves, rather but the policies also were responsible, which prevented them from going for free. Question number 1, in question number 29, 1 and 3 are correct. All 29, yes. The attending meeting Minister of State can attend only if invited to attend. They can attend only if invited. I thought it's written they can also attend any particular meeting. But all the 3 are correct. The Council of Ministers shapes the policy. Cabinet can attend any time as a right, and Minister of State can attend only when he has been invited. And Deputy Minister, he doesn't take part in cabinet deliberations, rather helps one. Which are following are characteristic features of a karst topography. Features of a karst region. For example, the ravines, the Chambal ravines example. So in these, the region is not often fertile; it's rather infertile, and there sometimes carry a thin layer, but most of the times it remains infertile. So the point is question number 30. So the point is number 30. The correct answer is B. Can be read some of the geography portion conceptually तैयार होना चाहिए geography. Always take NCERT for geography के लिए NCERT best. Some of you might be facing problem in geography and 9 to 12 karst topography Bharat can be cleaned overall, but the point is remember that in some of the areas where the land is loose or sometimes due to chemical reactions with the water will happen, some of the areas get dissolved, and what happens is Chambal type area ban jata. What happens, some of the land and some of the areas get into reactions. So what happens, जो areas reaction में आते हैं वो weather से जाते हैं, पानी आता है उनको बहा के ले जाता है. So it is a difficult topography. ऊपर से खाबड़ बहुत सारा हो जाता है. Some areas will remain up, some areas will be liberated. So overall एक बहुत ही ऊपर खाबड़ happen, intensive erosion area हो जाता है. So those areas are generally the soil is generally loose, and the soil is also get wasted away due to the run of water. So in all, it's very difficult to move actually, and it's overall very difficult to be agriculture. So production generally it becomes a wasteland. So karst topography is very, very harmful for the land. Next is question number 3. What is 3 project? Directly read it from here. It is first and third incorrect. Second is incorrect. You can read it from the answer sheet provided. The project emphasizes on health, literacy, and income generation. Question number 32. Bay of God Marine Ecosystem Project. I would say go and read 5 lines about this on its website. Go and read. It's an important thing. Recently, it doesn't involve the big countries. Rather, it involves the regional players, and it is very, very important. I would say go to its site. Its site is boblmeindia.com. So yes, Ashish, some of the state government projects that actually gain Indian pan-India recognition. So the small ones. So in that case, you will have to read a lot. And I would not suggest to read every project. Rather, some of the projects which have gained considerable limelight or have successful limelight. Now, question number 30 is the Backward Regions Grant Fund has replaced the Rashtriya to provide a more participative approach to the involvement of charity Raj institutions. Yes, in 2007 it had already replaced. Remember that. Generally states with high infrastructure index have listed in 40. Both are correct. and I would say, try to read 2-3 lines about RGF, BRGF. It was started by the UP government in 2007. Rather, नेट पे चाहो तो 1 मिनट के लिए और रेफर करो. Such programs, news recently. So any older certainly off sometime I would say जरूर उसको पढ़ो. Sometime I would say जरूर उसको पढ़ा. Come in the massive success or massive failure. So इसलिए at times you can get questions from him. You can get DNA, RNA are 2 types of nucleic acids formed in living systems and formed in large systems. DNA acts as a genetic material in our organisms. We know in virus RNA also acts. RNA mostly functions as a messenger. RNA has an actual as well. It functions. Now, if 2 is correct and 1 is correct, which one is left? Only 2 and 3 is left. So, the पहला वाला निकाल दो कि so A, C और D तो अपने आप in yes, correct. R is correct. Assumed into BRGF. So replace the way. So in a crude sense, I would not go with the strict English language. Rather, it's still a part of BRGF. Absolutely. So I hope you are able to understand that point. Okay. So in this अगर option A को पकड़ लेते हैं तो A, C और D अपने आप reject हो जाता है. So overall it gives you it's not a very difficult question. For option 1 it gives you the answer. Consider the following statements in regard to the period of 1870 to 1918 in India. 1918 in India. Which of the statements are correct or incorrect? During the period, access of press was confined up to cities and large towns. Certainly not. In rural India, it was very widely used. So 2 is certainly wrong. If 2 is wrong, which left? 1 is left, and 2 and 3, and 1 and 3 only is left. So 1, B, negated. Option 1. To publish a newspaper was a much more business. The more cost of newspaper was limited. So rather in India, it was the circulation of newspaper was very wide. So 1 and 3, factual question. Which of the following statements are correct regarding functions and reports of the Auditor General, CAG? Now, you must be aware of this. Again, being if you are putting such an intent, it must not be very difficult in answering them. Correct. B is correct. All the reports DG are deliberated upon Public Accounts Committee, including the commercial reports. Not correct are deliberated by not the commercial reports are correct but by Committee on Public Undertaking. So not all the reports are deliberated by Public Accounts Committee, deliberated by Public Undertaking Committee also. So COPU also deliberates some of the reports regarding commerce. So commercial reports are deliberated by COPU. Which of the following statements regarding report services are incorrect? Which of the following is incorrect? That cover most of the Deccan Plateau, which includes parts of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, and some parts of Tamil Nadu. Very well, of course, correct. The color of the soil ranges from deep yellow to from black soil, very good, very famous. So if 4 is wrong, so certainly we have B, C, and D. Agar first is correct, so which one is left? So certainly first we get one is or are incorrect. So which one is incorrect? We know 4 is incorrect certainly. So eliminate option A. In that case, 1 is certainly correct. Okay. The black soil swell and becomes sticky when wet and shrink and can be black soils are right. Lime, iron, magnesium, alumina. Overall, just by the facts, just by the options, you cannot answer A, B, C, D. Facts आपको चाहिए होंगे. हर question you cannot use. You must be looking at least 2 or 3. 2 और 3 पता ही होना चाहिए, तो तब ये आंसर एग्जैक्टली आ सकता है. So not you can know the fact, of course, it's your question. But if you don't know the fact, this all the questions you cannot solve by the options. Some questions you must know at least one or two facts. This one, the following statement is not correct in regard to the NBFCs. Now, first, your homework must be what is NBFCs, which all NBFCs are there in India, and which non-banking financial companies. Some, many of the students come to us for such questions. I would say you might have read it 1,000 times for NBFCs. Still, yes, Vivek, your question. Okay, I'll come to it back, or after the session also you can ask the questions wherever necessary. So, which of the following is not correct? I would say many of the students have this doubt about NBFCs. आपको जितना भी आपने कहीं पढ़ा हो, but still might not be available overall. So I would say थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं इसको NBFCs को एक बार देख लेना क्या है actually across okay. Well, in this question, certainly which is the correct answer, or rather which is not the correct option, not allowed to take deposits, and they are not allowed to take deposits from the public. Regarding Global Tiger Recovery Program, now both the options are correct. Just remember this program directly from this question. See this question, remember both the points, and just move on to essay questions. I would say the program जो बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल नहीं मिल पा रही है, read these two lines and just go into the very straight to the do not go into the nuts and bolts of the all the problems. It will consume a lot of time. Question number 40, another from the art. Well, Kanki, we know it's widely practiced in Kashmir, so must be aware of that. So, again I would repeat, there have been a number of links and there have been links of the material given for culture. You will just go and read from there, and your overall culture area will improve further. Yes, question number 41. Which of the following features of Indian national movement were result of the limited effect over the movement? Which of these could be? Read it once, try to select your answer now. Following the features of the Indian national movement are results of the left wing's effect over the dominance of the movement. Now, we know extreme nationalism dominated the movement before the left wing started. Left wing, this has been rather before that, and after left wing effect over movement had actually gained. The FRA policy was passed by Indian National Congress, setting up of this was around the time of early 1930s. Before that, extreme nationalists were there, and extreme nationalism was over by the start of 1930s. Uske baad there were only a few incidents. 1920s and 1940s, century with the nationalism. Which of the following are the correct regarding correct motions or resolutions adopted by the House of Parliament? I don't think it's very difficult to get the direct answer. Our direct answer is option D. The correct answer is left wing is generally the socialists. Left wing is generally the socialists. Yes. The resolution adopted by the House concerning its own personal matters and have the authority of the. So it is of course binding. Question number 42. Statement 2 is certainly wrong about this. Question number 43. Volcanic and volcanic eruptions and earthquakes that cause sea floor to move abruptly, resulting in sudden displacement of ocean water in form of high vertical waves are called tsunami or seismic waves. Tropical cyclones are intense high pressure areas confined. Tropical cyclones are intense high pressure areas or a low pressure area. It is a low pressure area. Tropical cyclones are low areas confined to the area between 30 degree north and atmosphere around high velocity flow. You know, it's a tropical cyclone that's outside, the wind is moving outside, and this is a low pressure area or tropical cyclone in that. Okay. Then first part, earthquakes and so this is anticyclone, and as we move low pressure area, high pressure से low pressure area move करता है tropical cyclones. You know, it goes in, and actually if you see the vertical section, the air travels up. So air moves in from high pressure to the low pressure area and then moves up. So this area, the central area, is called the eye, which is the center of a tropical cyclone, and the low pressure area. Yes, earthquakes and volcanic eruptions that cause the sea floor to move abruptly, resulting in sudden displacement of ocean water in the form. You know, it's just, you know, earthquakes, what happens is, high vertical, you know, it imparts a lot of energy. Suppose below water there is an earthquake. So what happens? If there is an earthquake, there is a lot of energy to the water above it. So what happens? This energy travels up to the surface, and at the surface it gets dissipated in the horizontal direction. So these are high vertical waves. Initially these require a lot of energy. They are high vertical waves, and these high vertical waves, as they dissipate energy, they become low vertical waves. So generally tsunami, when it reaches the shore, it is generally low, but after reaching the shore, it is again where to dissipate the energy. It moves further on the land. So initially, when in the deep oceans, they are very high and they are very high energy. When they moving towards the shore, they start losing the energy. So what happens? Initially, they will have high amplitude. It will go on decreasing, and at the shores, these tsunamis, then reaching at the shore, where to dissipate the energy, then the energy is used in the horizontal range and vertical height. Then energy is dissipated. So initially, high waves, long waves traveling initially. High waves amplitude, it gets decreased, and it reaches up to the shore, and most of the energy gets dissipated where it has from a Laffer curve. What is Laffer curve? Very important. I say Laffer curve. You know what happens is, if we increase the taxation, what happens if we increase the taxation? How will public revenues? How will government revenues be affected? That is the point. You know, अगर आप 100% tax suppose लगा दे, suppose 100% लगा दे, what will be revenues? You know, the economy will not be able to move because nobody will not even deposit the money. So point is, if we think the government if government wants to earn more, can go for higher taxes. No, it is not true. If they go for 0% taxes, means then no amount will be collected. If 100% is given as a tax, then nobody will be able to earn even, because the economy will be saturated, because the economy cannot produce anything, because nothing will come to the hand producer. So there is a relation between the amount of revenue by the government and the taxation. So this is called Laffer curve, and this, according to the economists, there are different points of which actually coincide with the highest revenue that government can earn by introducing taxes of a particular rate. So it's about the tax rate and causes decrease in the tax revenue. Correct answer is option B. Now such are the conceptual questions. To an extent, if you know the fact, you can directly answer, but to an extent in questions में economy में, as I have said already, you need a concept also. Regarding the use of endosulfan, the following statements are correct. Question number 45. Regarding the use of endosulfan, the following statements are correct. Of course, read the answer also. Stockholm Convention, India is committed to discontinue the use of endosulfan. In the next 2 years, is it? India has not said, rather in the developing countries it has been a regular problem and it is still used. And what is Stockholm Convention? What is Stockholm Convention? Stockholm Convention is regarding organic pollutants. Stockholm Convention is regarding the Convention on Organic Pollutants. Remember that? Consider the following statements about TCI, CPI, International Perception Index 2012. What is Transparency International currently aware of these reports? ऐसी कई reports लगातार market में आती है. You must be aware of some of such reports. Keep an eye on this. In this, India has been ranked above Nepal, Pakistan. It's not been ranked above Sri Lanka. India has been ranked at 94th and Sri Lanka has been ranked at 79th. So, option 1 and 3 are correct, 2 is incorrect. Current fact, directly from the current affairs. Then consider the following statements regarding the high frequency. No, Vivek, not the entire list. Yes, Vivek question. Vivek asked, must we memorize the entire list of ranks of every such report? Of course not. It's practically not feasible. But I would say in any report, do remember the one of the top. And then in the Indian subcontinent, I would say from the Indian subcontinent, the SAARC nations basically. The SAARC nation, you must remember, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, these areas, these 5-6 countries maybe. And you can, if to an extent, you can add China to it. Because most of the time we get a comparison with China. So I would say not more than 7-8 countries overall. The first you will remember always. And the subcontinent area, India, some Indian subcontinent and China. That is the thing. Do not go for the entire list. Certainly. Consider the following statements regarding the high frequency auroral research program. Now again from the current affairs, I say must be aware of this. If not aware, check the options. Options से कुछ निकल सकता है. Third option को कुछ कर दो तो शायद answer correct निकल जाए. Is the third option incorrect? Rather in this question all the three are correct. So pure fact, if you know that only you can answer. You cannot certainly sort out by the options only. Consider the the following personalities were given above were nominated by Jawaharlal Nehru during his chairmanship All India National Congress Working Committee. Which are the following? 1, 4 and 5. Fact, सीधे से पता होना चाहिए और move on to the next one. Department of Official Language is subordinate office which of the ministry? Which is from ministry? From culture. Not a very difficult one. थोड़ा सेंस लगा के भी किया जाता है. सोशल जस्टिस में, एम्पावरमेंट में नहीं, होम अफेयर में. To an extent could come rural development, certainly not rural development, official language, why would there? And culture or home affairs to some extent, culture is the correct answer. Which among the following reasons can be categorized as the push factor? Use your sense. You can say this question, you may know, may not know. Still concept can be used here. Use your head, use the concept. This can be done easily. But high population pressure on the land farm. Better opportunities for development. I hope you can sort it out. एक line को वापस पढ़ो. एक बार देखो. I can give you 30 seconds on this question. I give you 30 seconds on this question. Try to read and analyze once again. Yes, I give you 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm getting some doubt about question 49. Okay, I'll verify it. According to me, it is correct. Option D is correct. I'll just get it verified once again. Verified. Thanks for correcting. If there is a doubt, I will. Yes, high population pressure on land farms certainly a push factor. What is a push factor? Push factor is the one that pushes. So this is a push factor. Push factor. I hope you are getting the point. Push factor is the one that is, that makes people to migrate to other areas. Better opportunities for development, certainly. Lack of better opportunities for development. Development will not be pushing, rather it will be pulling. Rather, Delhi is the area where better opportunities there are. Also in Delhi, you expect people to come in. So that will be rather not a push, rather will be a push factor. Not push of basic infrastructure facilities, yes. Droughts and floods, yes. It can cause drought issues. Availability of regular work, higher wages, again it's a pull. So pull is the one which an area has as a positive thing. Now that will invite people to that area. So like US has more of the pull factors. It has less more of the push factors. It has very good opportunities. It has very level of development. With the other hand, a small country like Palestine or Saharan Africa, they will have more push factors. They will have more push factor, and they will migrate towards the areas where the pull factors are there. So overall, 1, 3, and 4 are the correct one. So which of the following were the causes of decay of Indian handicraft? Yes, I have got the confirmation. Yes, Vivek, even I have got the confirmation here in 49 correct. Even the commission has given it the correct one. I think that was wrong. I had the articles by Ministry of Culture. Certainly, 49. If you want, you can correct it. Option it has already been. Option it has also been. 51 again. Which of the following were the causes of decay of Indian handicraft during the British competition from machine-made goods readily? This is competition from the state called 100%. Production of 100 in India. Yes, many goods could move. Many goods could move. New patterns of demand. Yes, I will see to that question again. New patterns of demand. Certainly, 4 are the reasons. Now we have the question: why not better opportunity for development? Why will it be a push factor? Agar better option honge, better option, so why would the people leave a place? Why they'll be responsible for migration? Why rather it will be responsible That is the point. In urban areas, better. Yes, urban areas have a potential for development. That is not better. So they are responsible for immigration and not out migration. I hope you just get confused. I guess the Dima just get the point that push and pull. Pull will be for the good reasons and push will be for generally for the bad reasons. So better opportunity. Push factor. Okay. New patterns of demand. Yeah, new patterns of demand is because in handicraft, generally you new patterns of demand. What was the point behind the machine-made goods gave new machine-made products. So these products have started making demand in the market. So certainly, handicraft generally don't have those many varieties. Carbon schematic is related to safety. Very important these days. Something environment जैसी चीज शुरू होती है highlighted पढ़ा करो carbon based thematic both the options are correct. यहाँ से तुम पढ़ ही लो and just try to read four lines. Not a very difficult one to understand. Directly there, track of the constituent companies of DSC 100 and regarding their commitment to greenhouse gases. Both are correct. I read some more statements are correct regarding 80 National Social Assistance Program. Now another policy I have said earlier. You know the facts and then move on to the options. For the important ones, I think option 1 is correct. So your question का answer आ सकता है. Let us see. If you know the option 1, then certainly get the point. NSAP envisages only pension schemes for different societies. It's not only the pension, it includes National Family Benefit Scheme and scholarship of below countries studying in the first is wrong and that gives us the correct answer. The correct answer is B. So must be aware of this. So इस तरह से क्वेश्चन ध्यान दिया करो. ऑप्शंस इस तरह से होते हैं एक भी पॉइंट निकल आए उससे आंसर आ सकता है. Rather than going into all the 4 points, एक बार ऑप्शन के अंदर होगा एक पॉइंट से भी आता है तो अगर वहीं से आ जाए तो क्वेश्चन ही छोटा हो जाता है अपने आप. It will take crucial time for questions also and it will help you getting more score. Number 54. Breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended by the beginning of a healthy baby because newborns have very another thing, the same option can be used. If one is wrong, certainly it is one can be found out. If you know the first option, it's wrong or not. So थोड़ा डेटा चाहिए होगा यहाँ पे. So newborns don't develop digestive system. इसका evolution से भी एक relation आता है. Evolution से instead of 3 trimesters now evolution say 4 trimester is not seen now, and that is digestive system is not developed in the infants. And it gets developed soon. And generally, कई तरह के the acidity problem or gas and gastroesophageal reflux there has been an elaboration. So you can get the answer, which is C is the correct one. Now, if you see in the last question again, if you see 54 third option, activities that IgA, IgG and IgM. Now, these are not a very simple these are not very tend to be difficult. It's not done by a common man. Here, 20% in biology section, he basically so in such questions, try to pick up the options which are which can give you the answer in one line. So if in this one option 1, if that can be proved, as you can give us the answer. And option 3, option 3, people don't correct answer about the third point. Answer about the third point, very factual to the subject. So I would say most of I would try to be use the concept, try to figure out the answer. Not necessarily you are not doing all the things. So हर चीज करना इतना आसान नहीं है. You can forget the points rather using the options. Question number 55. Under the Government of India Act 1930, was limited to 60 adults. Question number 55. After passing, now again a factual question. For one only correct, from the definition from the answer sheet provided. Consider the following statements regarding expenditure embodied in the budget of India. Correct. On CSI but cannot be submitted. Of course, that is correct. To meet other expenditures to meet from CSI presented to be voted. Of course, it can be voted. Rather, the sum required are presented by this house. We know that demands of grants can be made. Can be made on the information on the index. So, which options are correct? Which in this correct 2 and 3 are. Question number 57. Now another from the India, which of the following governments is intensely preparing for organizing civil services. Don't think it might be a very difficult question for you. Yes, it must be aware of some of the facts. Is certainly one that is membrane into 2 main drainage systems only. We know in the 3 systems. So it has been the Ganga, the Indus, and the Brahmaputra. So not a very difficult question. Second is absolute. One goes towards the Pakistan west, Pakistan west to east. Third one from the Tibetan area to the Bay of Bengal. So one goes to the Arabian, goes to the Bay of Bengal. 58 from this question is from economics area certainly. Which of this is it's mostly the definition. BNP is the market value of all officially recognized final goods and services produced in the country. So within the country is domestic. And all is produced in 1 year by labor and property supplied by the resident of a country. This is nationally interchange these two. You will get the correct point. So this is wrong and second one is correct. The following is related to the word season watch. What is season watch? What is season watch? Yes, I guess there was a bit of problem. Probably for 1 minute, there is just one thing being arranged here. Yes. And we are back yet again. Because we are back yet again. Another error. This case, error is related to the word by being the मतलब कुछ सीजन पे ध्यान दो, कुछ इस तरह से आ रहा है. Well, certainly, it has been of course, private individuals, some private individuals, this is not possible, or the research that is not possible, engage the community in the process of science. So the idea is, people in this environmental process. That is, in all you can say that they invite contribution from the general public, then they partner with the general public. So, there was also this one of the feature called Migrant Watch. Migrant Watch भी इसी तरह का एक initiative था. If you want, you can read about the watch. If you want to read about the watch, so it has also a website, watch.in. It's an India program about the changing season, monitoring and the social cycles of flowering, fruiting. People give the data about this. So, it has been a initiative by people. So, if you want, you can also go for Migrant Watch also. So, the correct option is the option 1 only. That is an India-wide program in which participant identifies the trees and every week to note down when the flowers and fruit leaves and come out. In all, it maintains a database and helps in monitoring many tools also. Question number 6 is the following statements regarding the art of sand sculptures. So sand sculptures, another from the area of art. Read from the links that has been provided on SIS. But in this question, certainly 1 and 3 is the correct answer. क्या हम यूज कर सकते हैं 1 वाला ऑप्शन? ऑफ कोर्स 1 is incorrect, but here 1 is correct. 1 is incorrect. Culture originated by Odisha, but literally came different color and it's also used like in China. Its example is given in many parts of the world. Rather, is the art of sand culture considered in ancient texts? Rather, it is wrong. So, in this question, अपना वो पुराना method नहीं काम आएगा कि one only correct. If one is incorrect and we can reject the option. Such question is quite clear. Question नहीं पता होता है. Logic भी थोड़ा यूज करो. इस तरह से एक आध ऑप्शन हम चूज करके आंसर यूज करके ले लिए. So, each of the is not a correct reason which forced us to accept partition of the India. Which of the following was not considered national to accept partition of India? Now, the person who has read Indian national movement well, maybe from or from any other that small book Spectrum also, Hindu Mazhab had ever become dominant. It was certainly not the reason. A very difficult question if you are aware of Indian national movement and international movement. Not the Government of India Act 1935. Another factual question. I think you must be aware of this. Well, the correct answer certainly is D. Not a very difficult question, but that's the point. The case of phenomena of weathering stops. Weathering, what is weather stops? What is weathering stops? नाम से ही थोड़ा क्लियर है. Weathering is what? Inundation. जब लैंड एरिया से मिट्टी हो जाए, बहुत तेजी से पानी बहता है, उसमें सॉइल की लेयर का होता है. These are the process of weathering or denudation. Overall, which of the cases weathering stop करने के लिए उन्हें क्या क्या यूज किया जा सकता है? Enrichment of concentration of certain valuable ores. Of course, this can be done. It can be done. That will fertile. Formation of caves. Certainly, it will not. Formation of caves that will prevent the flow of water. And then mass movement of rock. Mass movement of rock has no relation. And so the correct answer is थोड़ा सा concept लगाया जा सकता है इसमें. If you can use net national product and market price is higher than net national product of factor cost. If now economic question, यहाँ पे आंसर आप चाहे भले गलत मार्क कर लें या सही मार्क कर लें. Idea is you must know the concept behind this. I would tell you that know the concept behind this, or this questions will you, or this will कॉस्ट में से हम डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस हटाते हैं और सब्सिडी ऐड नहीं करेंगे. सब्सिडी तो है वो गवर्नमेंट अपने पैसे दूसरों को दे रही है, और टैक्सेस है जो हम इनडायरेक्टली लोगों से दे रहे हैं. सब्सिडी है दे रहे हैं. तो दैट इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज. तो टैक्सेस सब्सिडी ये तो सब चीजों में सब जगह है ना. टैक्सेस हम हटाते हैं और सब्सिडीज ऐड करते हैं. Okay, consider the following statements in regard to the use. बहुत जगह देखते हो कि ट्रेन जैसा ट्रैवल करते हुए देखते हो कि कई तालाब में बहुत सारे पेड़ वेड़ उगे हुए हैं छोटे छोटे से, so you know पत्ते जैसे. So that is eutrophication. It is only caused by human activities. Is it caused only by human activities? No, it's we can go to interior of the forest. We can go to there are many places where naturally it has been caused. It decreases the biochemical oxygen demand. It increases the biomass. No, it does not increase the biomass of biomass. Other जब ऑक्सीजन डिमांड वहाँ पे डिक्रीज हो जाती है, तो इसका मतलब कि वहाँ पे डिक्रीज में उस पे डिपेंडेंट चीजें भी उस पे डिपेंडेंट एनिमल्स भी कम हो रहे हैं. I hope you are able to get that. अगर पानी में बायोकेमिकल ऑक्सीजन डिमांड कम हो रहा है, कम हो रहा है. No, that is the other way. It increases the biochemical demand, oxygen demand, because of the overall many of them. What happens is बहुत से उसके ऊपर grow कर जाते हैं. Number of plant. So they in the end, yes, in that case, if you want, you can say that but there are two ways to do that. Yes, many of you are pointing back to this. I accept your point. Increases the biochemical oxygen demand. But how to just point out that caused only by human activities is certainly wrong. It increases the biochemical oxygen demand. You can take it as increases the biochemical oxygen demand. Your oxygen. The point is, what it's the oxygen that is trapped in it. What happens? The number of plants increases there, and that is why they demand more sunlight. So that is the idea that to increase. And does that mean the plant? It does not. So which of this is correct? Only of course option C is correct. I hope you are getting the point why what I meant by decreasing or increasing biochemical oxygen demand. So because of the increase of the number of plants there, it increases biochemical oxygen demand. क्योंकि biochemical oxygen demand क्या है? वो ऑक्सीजन जो हमें बायोकेमिकल प्रोसेस के लिए वहाँ पे overall the biodiversity in that area decreases, and thereby the oxygen demand increases. I hope you are getting this differently. The biochemical oxygen demand is generally the dissolved oxygen that is present in the water. In the plants. So as the number of plants there increases, we see in the कई तरह के हम तालाब में देखते हैं बहुत सारे प्लांट छोटे छोटे पत्ते की टाइप जाते हैं. So what happens? They As we increase, the oxygen demand get increased, but overall oxygen demand in the air is declining. So I hope your point, you understand. I think the point, only 3 options is correct, 1 and 2 are wrong. Only 3 options are wrong. Only 3 options is correct. So by these statements, 1 and 2 is correct. So I hope you're getting the difference in that. Just do not go skip by the points. Go skip by the points. Just have a point that for other questions also that you may use. Question number 6 is Indian rupee has fallen by 27% against the US. Which among the following is the reason for the fall in the Indian rupee? Now all the reasons are given in the answer sheet. If you want, you can see that. Here the 2 are correct. Here that is option 1 and option 2. Certainly option 3 is wrong. Action and government is also responsible for fall in Indian rupee. Certainly not. Rather, the point is huge lower capital inputs, higher current account deficit, devaluation pressure, low inflation, high inflation, rupee speculation. How do you distinguish between passive optical network and gigabit passive optical network? What is a passive optical network? What is a passive optical network? Yes. Yes, Vivek, I'm trying to remove if there is any, but I don't think there might be a problem from your side. Yes, from the statement, some of things are clear. 1 and 3 are PON is a network architecture that brings fiber cabling and home using a point to multi-point scheme. Remember, this point to multi-point scheme is very important in passive optical network that enables a single optical fiber to serve multiple places. So one optical fiber that divides into many. Now PON standard differs from non-PON standards as it achieves higher bandwidth efficiency in larger variable length standards. Certainly not. It is not. Rather, GPON, gigabit passive optical GPON, achieves higher bandwidth and higher efficiency. उसमें ज़्यादा important होता है. So it's more of depending on the content information that you have. I would say PON के बारे में एक बार आप जरूर पढ़ लेना. It has been recently areas are starting to establish. That is why do read once. Another from the culture area, the correct answer is B. Directly. Then where from the priestly class or from the so apparently majorly the force in it. Then weekly found for Julius and has been for Julius Asylum. With respect to this, consider the following statements. So, current affairs, be aware of it. Be aware of it. Julius Assange has been granted by Colombia. No, it's not. It's by Ecuador. Who is the Prime Minister? Who is the head of Ecuador? Who is the Prime Minister? Ecuador. Who is the Prime Minister? He has been very vocally against. He has very vocal against UK and US. It is Rafael Correa. So just remember that name. Evo Morales and Rafael. And Rafael Correa, Evo Morales from Bolivia, he has also been in the news, and then Rafael Correa from Ecuador has also been in the news. The salinity of oceans is affected by which of the following factor? Evaporation and precipitation sensibly used. अगर कोई नमक किसी पानी में उसको बाद तो क्या होगा? नमक थोड़े ना उठेगा, नमक उतना ही रहेगा, तो what will happen? Salinity will increase. Freezing and thawing ice will increase. Yes, freezing and thawing of ice, it will also increase. Winds help in evaporation. It accentuates evaporation. So that will also increase the salinity. All the three will be responsible in affecting the salinity. Remember, temperature, evaporation, in effect, अगर पानी की क्वांटिटी कम या ज्यादा हो रही है तो ज्यादा salinity इफेक्ट होगा. एडिशन ऑफ फ्रेश वाटर डाल दो, अपने आप salinity घट जाएगी. या पानी किसी तरीके से निकाल दो तो salinity बढ़ जाएगी. तो किसी भी तरीके से बढ़ जाएगी, घट रहा हो या बढ़ रहा हो, अगर ऐसा हो रहा है तो salinity will be affected. And then if somehow more and more is being deposited, then also salinity will be affected. Which of the following is a transfer payment? Which of the following is a transfer payment? Employees' contribution to Provident Fund of employees. Bonus to employees by the government or enterprise is the transfer payment. Employees, it's not a transfer payment, rather what is that? Yes. Which of the following categories are related to persistent organic pollutants? Persistent organic pollutants, biomagnification and bioaccumulation. What is the difference? Remember that magnification increases the effect is increasing. Accumulation, it's just the increase in the quantity. So the increase in the idea over this. 72C correct option. Here also you can, if you want to increase the option of 2, अगर 2 को incorrect कर दे तो अपने आप ही option सही आ जाता है. To travel only in areas which are near to the source polluted. This question को कितना भी मुश्किल हो, it can be easy. Second option is incorrect. Second option is correct. A, B, and D, all the three are avoided. The climate change response public program includes yes, it's about the program. I have said it many a times. Just read it from here. Mark it in notes. Remember again, overall there will be 8 to 10 such programs be given in every paper. What you can do best use of it. मेरे से ज़्यादा समय आपको correct मिलेंगे, incorrect सीधे क्या करना, incorrect answer sheet is corrected. What will happen? It will eventually help in getting the correct point. And in 70, okay, in this question 1 and 2 only is incorrect, third is wrong. You can directly check from the answer sheet and correct it at the place you want. And I hope you are getting the point. You will not be able to remember which schemes अगर 70-80 schemes हो जाएंगे by the end of the mock series, and then you can easily read it from there. Do not try to mug the everything that you get. Questions देखो इनमें, they have been selected with correct objects, and this overall helps you in making the notes. अब एक को देखिएगा नेट पर रेफर करोगे, and you will a lot of time will also be wasted with it. Which of the following properties of water allow it to play an important role in the biosphere? Which of the following will play an important role in the biosphere? Heat, very important. Heat is very important. Climate इसी से change हो जाता है. It gets heated slowly and loses slowly. Thermal conductivity, another important point. Thermal conductivity बहुत ज़्यादा होती है तो नीचे it would have been difficult for marine life to sustain. Suspension, like was very important. Rises suspension और capillarity की वजह से ही पानी water rises in the plants. The dipole moment, another important characteristic. Colorless, odorless, visible effect on the bioeffect. So 2, 3, 4, and 5 is the correct answer. 75. Another from the history area. Question number 75. Factual question. Another practice question. Another incorrect. अपने आप it is not 1 and 3 are correct. 75 correction. Directly you can read from the answer sheet. Okay. Faster. Do you have Do you have a doubt in any other question? Yes, dipole moment, in water or any other in chemical substance, there is a positive charge at one side and a negative charge at the other side. So what happens is, due to the difference in charge distribution, that this molecule gets a stability, and of course this moment, because of the negative and positive attraction, water has other charge negative electronegativity जिसे बोलते हैं, पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव एक तरफ आ जाती है, तो उससे नेगेटिव एक तरफ और दो तरफ पॉजिटिव होता है. So there is a bond positivity होता है. Water and water molecule which is other substance of the same configuration. So what happens is, this helps in overall keeping its boiling point at 100 and helps in maintaining the, otherwise 40-50 is being evaporated like hydrogen sulfide. It would have different boiling point higher. Then, any other question if you want? We have just 10 minutes away from the end of the session. We will be moving further right now at a good speed again. So, with regard to the power of President India, consider the following statements. He does not say the President of India. He does not say the party question. First to incorrect karao, and then certainly the option remains correct. So he does not sit or participate, he certainly participates in the joint session. So, and that joint session he can draw the session between Parliament is not in session. Which of the following factors are being stated by geologists as an evidence support of continental drift? Map of continent, yes. Distribution of fossils, yes. Then rocks of same age across the oceans, yes. And volcanoes, is it there? Certainly it's not. 1, 2 and 4. A bit of geography needed, but after geography study, so it's not a very difficult question. It's the matching of the continents, the South America and if you know, can be fit right here. If you then North America here, we brought here North America is stuff, and then India can be fitted here, India, and then here Australia. Australia can so near the Durban can make a point. So near continents can be brought here. South America, Africa, India, and Australia. So they are the distribution of fossils. Yes, one fossil. Yes, fossil found in South America is fossil. The same fossils are found in some areas of Africa and across the ocean. Very good example is in South America. A very good example is South America. In South America, if you can see South America and Africa, what is there? That across Brazil area, there are certain rock structures. They are in the Gorza. They are Ghana area. So, उसी तरह की schemes जो आगे value, that is the same age of rocks. That means they were once connected together. Okay. So this is the following statements in regard to Competition Commission of India. Regarding any, you can directly read it from there, and if any incorrect and two are correct, they are correct. Certainly you can check it from the then which are correctly all three are correctly matched, and just try to read it once directly. Then Loser festival, there it was a question there back in the last 2 years culture in the you can read cultural question, you can certainly read it from the cultural websites and the links that have been given. one annual that will be celebrated to appease gods to avoid fighting society. To appease gods. Which of the following steps were taken by provincial governments of Indian National Congress constituted in 1937? Difficult question. Difficult actual. I was banned. The newspapers of CPI advertisement was given up. Revolutionaries were released. It is 1 and 2 is correct. For such, I'll take the question. If you want to get end of the part, when the House of People clearly and conclusively determines that the government does not command support, the government has to resign. Want of parliamentary to resign. Question number 82. If you can read, when the House of People clearly and conclusively determines, that is the government has to resign. What of parliament? Government does the government be supposed to the House of People by defeating the government on a major issue policies? It can be. If you remember, in the case of 123 deal, it almost the government was brought down. Passing an adjournment motion, it can. Defeating the government on financial issues, it could be the point. Passing a motion of no confidence in the Council of Ministers. Certainly, no confidence in the Council of Ministers. Yes. So all the four are correct. No, Bharat, it is Council of Ministers. Yes, against the Council of Ministers, no confidence motion can be passed. Process long reduction in the altitude of the satellite's orbit. No, that's Council of Ministers, not against the Parliament. That's the point. Discussion against that. Orbital decay. Okay, that's the problem. I'll check it and refer to you back in case your point is wrong. Orbital decay, a process of prolonged reduction in altitude reduction in orbit is caused by which of the following orbital decay? It is certainly by atmospheric drag, tides and gravity. All the three are the reasons for orbital decay. Remember, orbits get decreased. Which of the following is not just objective C? 84B, and you can read it from the answer sheet. Which of the following statement is in regards to keystone species? It has disproportionately a large. What is keystone species? One important. I will give you an example. Suppose there is a particular insect that eats particular soil. Okay, that eats. Okay. So what happens is, suppose there is a bird that eats a particular soil, and that helps in the soil nutrients. Suppose that bird dies in an area. What will happen if that bird dies? Those insects will remain, and those insects will start eating the nutrients in the soil. Because nutrients will go down, a number of plants will be dying, and as the number of plants would be dying, there would be a number of decrease in the biodiversity. So in case क्या हुआ, वो जो एक बर्ड थी, अगर वो जो एक बर्ड थी और वो बर्ड वापस उन कीड़े को खाने लगे, तो what will happen? That overall the nutrients in the soil will remain, and that will help in maintaining the biodiversity. So that bird becomes a keystone species because number of species will be lost because of its cascading effect. ऐसा effect चली जाएंगे. So that is the point about keystone species. I think you can clearly answer it. Of course, critical role abundance does not have any effect. Rather, abundance is important role in the determining. Biodiversity is playing because the following statements regarding United States budget deficit. budget deficit that could have occurred due to increased taxes and reduced spending. It has been likely to lead a mild recession in 2030, rise in employment rate. Has reached a deal to report the rate of investment in the field of asset and investment. Yes, I think I'm aware of this that's going on recently. Has the United States reached a deal? Okay. So, option A is correct. They have avoided the fiscal cliff. They have avoided the fiscal cliff right now. Question number 87. Advantage of hydrogen economy. Consider the following statements about hydrogen economy. The basic principle of hydrogen economy is the transportation and storage of energy in the form of liquids or gases. Now, if you see the options, if option is defined as incorrect, you can get the correct. Let's see option number 4 first. Nowadays, hydrogen is used in fuel cell generation of electric power. Is it? So that is correct. That is wrong. They are not in fuel cells. So if this is wrong, 31, 2, 3 is correct. So many times I say try to get those statements. Try to get those statements that will help you in determining the incorrect or the correct option. History question, factual, you know or you don't know. If you can see the option says if one is incorrect, then we can be needing at least one option to the correct for 88 is B. Yes, Vivek, yes, 87 it's 87, the answer is 7. Yes, 1, 3 and 4, advantage of hydrogen. Yes, sorry. In the second option is wrong, very good. It's used in fuel cells, of course. Question number 89. Consider the following statements regarding a union territories. Now, from the answer sheet, you can directly get it. The correct answer is given, and in the only African government is awarded as estimated administrators. In rest of the union territories, only the senior vice officers are appointed as administrators. Is it in Delhi, Pondicherry, and even Andaman and Nicobar also? Andaman and Nicobar also, the Lieutenant Governor is appointed as the administrator. A soil affected by intensive leaching and taken by side which was of Indian states. Rich in iron oxide, red soil, in which area is found? In which area are these found? In north, of course, in Uttar Pradesh and Haryana soil. The correct answer is Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. It is regarding soil. Lateritic soil that is commonly called lateritic soil that is commonly found in Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, not found in the northern Indian plains. So just be aware of this. Be aware of the answer. Which of the following are characteristics of progressive tax? Which of the characteristics of progressive tax? Both are the conditions of progressive tax. The income increases, the tax also increases. Average tax rate should be increased, marginal tax rate should be more than the average tax rate, certainly. Which of the following statements is a biomes? Now, directly read it from the answer. All the options are correct. Not a difficult question. Not a difficult question. Environmental area, biomes, biomass, ecotones, such questions. Such terms are aware of. So, any other question? Do you have any doubt in the left question? I hope you have covered most of the questions. In fact, if you want to take question number 97 also, because we have just 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. Question 97. Which of the following statements regarding the monsoon rainfall are incorrect? Which sense can be used here? Monsoon rainfall is largely covered by relief and topography. Is it? Its spatial distribution is even. The part is not part. The two is not an even. C and which of the following is incorrect? So the C and option B from the beginning. A will be cancelled out. D will cancel out. So C is summer rainfall leads to considerable runoff and soil erosion. Of course, it's correct. Is it correct? Is it correct? Yes, it's correct. One is it's correct or not? Considerable runoff and soil erosion. No, it's not for the soil erosion. Rather, it gives us the majority that we need. Rather, winter rain is responsible. Yes, Ridhima, are affected by human activities like habitat loss. Rather. Question 92. I would say, overall are the very wide areas. You cannot directly link to the human activities. Very wide areas. So biomes not, rather a smaller, where a particular biodiversity area, but biomes are not affected by human activities, mostly by the climate of the area. And climate has not really changed. So biomes cannot be biome. If I hope you're understanding the biome. Biome is the whole tufa biome, the whole taiga biome. So, it's not just a very small area, it's rather affected around the globe, it's surrounded around the globe. So, rather overall, in this paper, I think the questions must have been answered. I know it's correct, and that is, you must have answered around 40 questions, and then some, of course, maybe 10, 15 wrong if you have. So 50 should have been attempted, 40, 10, I would say. I know a bit difficult because a lot of facts, all of us cannot know all the facts. So, mera wahi point again, in the exam, by the time of UPSC, you will get, some facts are always because this is more of a preparation up to the main exam that will happen up to on night and in the day. बहुत सारे इसमें जो उन सबको जो incorrect options है उनको correct करके पीछे अपने पास. This will overall give you a point. In all last analysis, by the end of all the analysis, you will have 70 to 80 such schemes and factors or schemes and the literal area of the SIS, I have given the rate of the SIS, I have given the Okay, for any other question, I am typing my email address. If you want, you can certainly email on this. Yes, if you want, you can see out there, or just I'll give you on the also. Yes, for any doubt, you can send to any doubt, you can send them to that. Because you can have the video for you, can have the recording of the video at your SIS, you also at the career.com. Yes, Any other doubt? Of course. Yes, fine. Thank you very much. The session is about to end. For any doubts? Yes, Vivek. Yes, Vivek. About the question about the yes, you can get it on launcher.com/class apart. Yes, the recording will be available on launcher.com/class apart. Just write ask counselor there at your center. I will just write at yes. Fine. Thank you very much.